Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, this is a surprise. I didn't expect it, but that reveals to me at least one very important thing and reveals something else that irritates the shit out of me. All right, and that is President-elect of Ukraine, Zelensky, visited the Snake Island in the Black Sea. Now you might say, hey, what's wrong with you, buddy? Why are you so uptight? Well, my pants are very tight on me and they get in my ass, so I'm wearing tongs. So I'm very, very irritated. I will show you why I'm irritated. Let's read this article first. At least just the title is good enough. The New Voice of Ukraine on July 8, 2023 report that Zelensky makes surprise visit to Snake Island to mark 500 days of Ukraine's fight for freedom. Okay, here is the weasel on this territory. Okay, good for him. Good for him. So, why am I... So, first, let's get to this. What does that tell me? That tells me that actually Putin still keeps his word of not assassinating Zelensky, because I have no doubt that the Russians knew the guy would go in a Snake Island. There's no way they kept it so secret that this guy, they didn't know he was going over there. Therefore, for me, well, nothing is certain. So I would say, I'm guaranteeing you, I would say 95% I'm certain the Russians, or maybe 98% I'm certain the Russians knew and were okay with this guy going over there. We're okay. That means you can go over there, we're not going to shoot you down. That's my first thing. And so that's what his visit reveals to me. He can visit wherever he wants to go, including Moscow if he wants. I don't give a... The problem is, it turns into the second issue that irritates me, the issue of the Snake Island. And I will give you a short history of why I'm irritated. The Snake Island, I would say, illegally belongs to Ukraine at this point. And I will tell you why. I will show you why. And this is my point. And you can obviously make your point and form your opinion. But this is the irritating fact. And I'm not angry with Zelensky. I'm not angry with Ukrainians. I'm angry with the Romanians. Okay? Because certain things you can't control, but what you can control, you fight for it. And the Romanians did not fight for it. All right, let's go to a little history lesson here and some geography lessons of people who do not know what's going on here. So we have here the location, right? Location, location, location. This is Romania. This is the current Ukraine. This is Moldova. And here is Russia. Well, things are different now. This belongs to Russia, the Crimean Peninsula, and this area here. We're not going to go into that now because we don't really care about it. We care about this area. No, the Snake Island is located right here. You see where Sulina is? Right here where my little arrow is. This is where it's located. I'm going to show you this. Right there. You see where it's at? So this is Romania. This is present-day Ukraine. That's Moldova. So this is where the island is. Now here, this is the Danube River flowing into the sea. Okay? So let's go back to this. This is where the Danube River goes. Now, by international law, and which belongs to which, if this goes straight like that, west east in this case, or east west, if this goes south and you have your border here, this belongs to this country. If this would go below, they would belong to that country. Now this, not only that is below, that means these guys should be entitled to have it, but this Ukraine, part of Ukraine, as you know, the cherry on the cake, was not Ukraine, was Moldova, and another cherry on the cake, let's say is the whipped cream here, Moldova was Romania. So how come Ukraine now claims something that belongs to this guy, which belonged to these guys, and Romania doesn't make a fuss about it? Why? Because they're weasels. So let's go back. Let's look at the map, current map. You see the current map here? Moldova is this little piece of thing here. But Moldova, you see this part right here? Right here, I can make it bigger, but I have another map ready for you, for a slam dunk, for a knockout. See this part here? From here, from below road, bababab, until here, which this area here? This area belonged to Moldova, 1940. And this part right here belonged to Moldova. Let me show you the map. Opa. You see, hopa, hopa? So this was, you see this part here? This was taken. This is, you see right here? That's the Snake Island, right? So all this thing that you see in yellow, light yellow and peace yellow, which is Romania, right? All this was Romania in 1940. And this was not only from 1940, this belonged to Alexander the Great, Jesus Christ, Stefan the Great. Moldova, when Moldova was, in its heyday and so on, and before, it belonged to Moldova. All this, including Cetatea Albă. It was a fortress owned by the guy from Suceava, the guy called Alexander the Great. Yes, Stefan the Great, Jesus Christ. And in 1940, the USSR dictator, not the Russian, but the Gruzian, the Georgian, like Saakashvili, he demanded that Romania gives all this territory right here to USSR, Soviet Union, just like that. If not, Stalin said, we're going to go and take the whole thing, because according to him, the whole thing should strategically make sense for USSR. Why? Because it's a little river here. So he said, well, I'm getting ready here for the German attacks. I want this so I can defend on this river right here. And they say, well, maybe we can go to the Carpathian Mountains, which are right here. So he said, we're going to take everything, but because I'm nice, said Stalin, we're going to take only half of it. And we're going to create something else. We're going to give this part right here, the southern part right here, which is right here. This southern part, we're going to give it to Ukraine just because. This north part here, we're going to give it to Ukraine just because. Remember, this part right here, given to Ukraine, was not Ukraine's. This part right here, given to Ukraine. Therefore, the Snake Island, we're going to give it to Ukraine in 1940. All right, this is the dictator Stalin said. And it became this. This was the modern, after the Second World War, instead of this became, the Republic, Socialist Republic, Soviet Socialist Republic of USSR, and this one became the Soviet Republic of Ukraine in the USSR, with the new territories acquired, including Lviv from Poland, including Transcarpathia or Zakarpattia from Hungary. 1954, this was taken by Khrushchev and given from Russia, given to Ukraine. So Ukraine got all these territories here, except this little piece of whatever this color is, purple rain, given to Ukraine. So Ukraine was big. After the fall of the Soviet Union, they didn't bring it back, the whole thing. Hey, Stalin took it forcefully through an ultimatum. That means I'm going to punch you in your face if you don't give it to me. It was not brought, okay, we're going to bring this back to where it was taken from, which is Romania, including the Snake Island. It was not. They created the West again, fucked Romania again, together with the Russians in this case. And they said, you know what, we're going to have it this way. Moldova is going to be like this, Ukraine is going to be like this, and Romania, screw you. And Romania, the weasels, did not protest. They said, well, the sour grape thing. Well, you know what? Actually, this plays no strategic importance to Romania, but somehow it plays to Ukraine. And everybody else, they all fight. The Russians fought for it, Ukraine fights for it, but Romania said, we don't need it actually. What are you talking about? This first should not be Ukraine. Okay, this part right here, the southern part, should not be Ukraine for this obvious reason, right there. This has never belonged to Ukraine. Because Ukraine was not a country. Ukraine became a country in 1918. The first time we said Ukraine. Yeah, it was part of this, it was part of that, it was this. But that's the way it is. Look in the history. And you're not going to find this portion belonging to something like called Ukraine. Or anything close. And I'm not stuck on semantics. Okay? I'm not stuck on that. You can say, oh, the Kiev, whatever. Okay, even then you got here these guys, which were Romanians. They call them Moldovians. It's like you say here, Southerners from Texas versus, I don't know, people from Oregon. But anyway, my friends, this is why it irritates me when I see, for instance, not that Zelensky visits that portion. He can visit whatever he wants. My problem is with the Romanians who got rid of it. You know how they got rid of that? When they want to join the the European Union. I was about to say communist USSR, but now it's the European Union. When they wanted to join the European Union and they wanted to join NATO, they were required to have all the countries around them, like Ukraine should be. If you want to join NATO, you have to bring a signed treaty with each of your neighbor stating that you don't have any territorial claims. And Romania said, we just don't have any territorial claims to Ukraine. Remember everything I told you? They should have had. But they said, well, we're going to get rid of... Romanians are living there, in the areas I showed you. They are still there. Now they are minorities in Ukraine, as there are Hungarians in Ukraine, as there are Poles in Ukraine, as there are Hungarians in Romania, in Transylvania. All right? By the way, let me show you this map. You see the other one right here? That was given to Hungary. Okay? That was given to Hungary. Why? Because they said, well, here is where Hungarians could be majority, or they have a high density population. So we're going to give it to them based on, and then Romanians then became living in Ukraine, in Hungary. So now this was given back to Romania. If you can look over it, where is it? Right here, see? That northern part was given back to Romania, but these things were not given back. Why? Because Germany collapsed, so it couldn't demand anything, and Hungary collapsed. But Soviet Union did not collapse after the Second World War. And after the 1991 collapse of the Soviet Union, Russia did not collapse. Ukraine did not collapse. Ukraine had nuclear weapons deployed on its territory. So it's all about power, my friends, not about love. Make love, don't war. Okay, you make love and I take everything you got. And I can make love with you whenever I want. And you just make love and I'm going to do whatever I want. Is that how you tell to a rape victim? You just make love and I'm going to give you whatever I want. Is that how you talk? Obviously not. The same here. Oh, make love, make peace. Under what terms? My terms? Your terms? So here it is. So I'm not upset or angry with Zelensky. I'm angry with the Romanians who just got rid of Romanians and Romanian territories just to join these guys' plantation. That was it. Because they were afraid of the Russians. Okay. They sacrificed. And they gave more than that. But I don't think this map shows the quadrilateral. Let me see. Oh, they show it right there in the south. You see in the south over there with Bulgaria? The little part over there is called quadrilateral. That's how Romanian called it. This really didn't belong to the Romanians, to be honest with you. It belonged to Thracia and blah, 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 and then Bulgaria and so on. Why? Because here is the Danube River here. And all this Dobruja, this area, Bulgarians say it's ours because actually that's nothing here, no barriers, it's artificial, blah, 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 blah. Romania got that, and then they got this again, through an ultimatum again. But again, remained to Bulgaria. This came back to Romania, and this one remained to Ukraine and artificially created little country of Moldova. People who don't like my terms should look at what happened in the situation. So, there it is. He visits Ukrainian territory. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.